Good morning, good afternoon, good evening around the world. My name is Doug Brunke. I'm the founder and CEO of Global Chamber. We like to bring in extraordinary leaders who have something to do with helping us get to the next level. And Boaz is an award-winning speaker who is also perhaps the most spoken Vistage speaker. As some of you, many of you know, Vistage International is a member of Global Chamber. All of the new members of Vistage come through Global Chamber and become members. And because of that relationship, a very long relationship with Vistage, we're very nicely connected to leaders. And we're very fortunate and very honored to have Boaz here today. He speaks on a variety of leadership and business improvement topics. And today he's going to take us through a process to be able to help us take our businesses from where we are today to a much better place. Boaz, could you, as you start, explain Tiberias? I love the story. I love the fact that you're here today, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot more.
Thank you very much. As I said, everybody, please take notes. You'll get 5 times as much out of this when you take notes as when you think you'll remember. So everybody, please write down, I will have a good time. Can we start with that? Wouldn't that be interesting just to first decide to have a good time? I do over 100 meetings a year for CEOs in Vistage, and I notice a lot of people are not having a good time. So I've come to have a good time. Whether you do or not today is immaterial to me. Let me tell you why that's important. Because if you worry about everybody else, you'll be so uptight, nobody will have a good time. So just decide to have a good time. Those who are alive and breathing will have a good time. Those who aren't, order flowers. It could be over. So frankly, I have such a good time and never miss one of my own events. Now, some of you will get my humor immediately. Some of you will get it later. Some of you may not deserve it. I want you to know I don't really care. And let me tell you why that's important. Because if you worry about everybody else, you'll be so uptight, nobody will have a good time. So just decide to have a good time, and those who are, participating might have a good time with you. So what I want to do is go around first, Doug, if I may, get first names of everybody who's on the call. Can you help me with that, Doug? Who are the first names of everybody who's on the call? Do you have a list over on your side? I think we have Caesar, we have Cliff, am I right?
We've got Christopher, Cliff, Gian, Larry, Terry.
Okay, a little slower. Okay, Larry, Gian, Larry, Terry, and you, Doug. Caesar, Cliff.
Oh, and Cesar. Yep, Cesar's on the call as well.
Christopher, Gian, Larry, Terry, Doug, and Cesar. Okay, very good. So I want to ask each one of you, please unmute. What is your toughest challenge in business? Doug, let's start with you. What's your toughest challenge? What do you wish in business could be easier or simpler?
Who are you starting with?
Yeah, Doug, with you. Yeah. What's the toughest challenge you face in business? What do you wish was easier?
To me, that today for us, scaling. It's getting to the next level by finding the systems and the team members and the processes to be much more successful.
Yeah, how to get to the next level. Absolutely. That's what everybody's wanting to do. And I'm here to give you some ideas to take you to the next level. And Cesar, what would you say for you? Toughest challenge? And you can repeat what somebody else said.
I think, hi there. I think one of the toughest challenges to prioritize tasks and assignments with and in our case, with our members and our activities.
Yeah, to prioritize. Absolutely. I'm going to give you some ideas on that in a few minutes. All right, and Cliff, for you. Toughest challenge? Cliff, can you hear me?
Recording in progress.
Cliff, can you hear me?
Well, this is Chris. So while Cliff is trying to respond, I will say that the toughest challenge for me is to, well, naturally, I think everyone wishes that we had more time. But outside of time, I would say it would be to motivate those who need change, because when you observe what they have or what they're doing that isn't working, you tend to become more compassionate toward their need for change, even though they may not want it for themselves.
Sure. You know, we all fight change, but everybody please write down change equals opportunity. Change equals opportunity. The only people who really like change are babies with dirty diapers. The rest of us fight it. And by the way, I got my computer on where I was going on my phone a few minutes ago. Can you all please turn your cameras on? This is a very big lesson in leadership for your business. Whenever you're doing any kind of a meeting, have your camera on. Otherwise, you're a still picture or you're nothing. You're a black screen. And so, would all of you please turn your cameras on? There we go. And please put your first name in the lower left-hand corner. Please rename yourself, because I know all of you don't have a first name of Global. So please just right-click on your name and rename yourself the way you want to be called. So if you want to be called Christopher, put Christopher. You want to be called Chris, put Chris. So Cliff, Elisa, can you all turn your cameras on, please? This is a very big deal. I'm here to give you some ideas on how to be much more productive, much more successful. This is the beginning point, everybody. If this is tough for you, life is going to be rough, okay? Please turn your cameras on. Now you all look like a bunch of black screens. The only one who's on is Doug and Christopher and Caesar. But for the rest of you, please turn your cameras on. You look much more human when I can see you. There we go. There's Larry. Please. When I work in television, network television, this is a video meeting. This is not a phone call. If it was a phone call, I would have called you. But it's a video meeting. So everybody, please turn your cameras on and make sure your first name shows up in the lower left-hand corner. I'm serious, but there's Cliff. You look like a good guy. There he is. Okay, Elisa, please. And is it Thyri and Jayon? Please turn your cameras on and put your first name in the lower left-hand corner. There we go. See, you look like a real person now. That's lovely. Okay, everybody, please put your first names on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from my phone to my computer. You see the background? One of my client companies made a background with a logo. So it makes your meeting look very professional. Let me show you the one I generally use. There it is. Every day I play like a champion. You see how neat that looks? So when I have 10, 15 people on a Zoom meeting, they all have the same background. It just looks very professional. So let me see a couple more of you. Elisa and Sidisak, please turn your cameras on. And also, is it pronounced Thyri?
Hey, Terry. That's Terry.
Terry. Okay, it's Thierry, but it's Terry.
I'm a part of the French community of the Global Chamber.
Oh, oui, indeed.
A
Terry,
very good book about brands. Very good book.
could you please lower your camera so I can see you in the middle of the screen as opposed to the bottom of the screen? And also, Elisa, could you lower your camera? Please lower your camera a little bit. Or get a taller chair. I know I'm making a big deal out of this, but it is a big deal. Whenever you have a meeting with anybody, make it Zoom, then make it a video meeting. Don't make it a phone call and you're hiding behind the screen. Makes you look like, what are you afraid of? Now, am I being blunt? Yes. Yes. Doug, do you see how much different the meeting is now? Hey, Christopher, can we get your picture back on? That's a very handsome still picture of you. And Elisa, could you lower your camera, please? You're in the lower half of my screen. And Terry, please lower your camera a little bit. Let's make you the main part of the screen, not your wall. So please lower your camera, look like you're in the middle of the screen. All right. So we're going around finding out what people find is the biggest challenge. And so, Christopher, for you, what's the biggest challenge? Chris, would you like to be called Christopher or Chris? There are two Chris.
Yeah, I don't mind Chris or Christopher. At 50% of people call me Chris. The other 50 call me Christopher. So they're both good.
Which do you prefer?
I don't have a preference. I'm a 50-50 person on that.
All right. All right. All right. Chris. Okay. And then let me see. Larry, what would you like to change? What do
You know what I
what's the
think it is,
challenge?
Boaz? Nice to meet you here. I think it has something to do with communication. You know, it's one of the things I always try to do is try to, you know, what's the best way to communicate with somebody? Is it texting? Is it phone calls? Is it email? Is it some other version of any of those things? And once we figure that out, I find the conversations tend to go smoothly, but sometimes it takes a while to get that down. And I get the sense that, and I say this in general terms because it seems like some people really struggle with that. You know, is it WhatsApp? Is it Signal? Is it Telegram? Is it, you know, there's all these different ways to communicate now. And I think it's essential to get clarity on that as soon as possible when pursuing a new relationship.
Actually, Larry is at the high point of the whole hour, and we'll cover it. It's communications. And Elisa, could you lower your camera, please? You're in the lower half of my screen. It should look like you're going to a basement. Please put your camera back on and lower it a little bit so you're in the part of the screen. And Cliff, what for you biggest challenge in business?
My biggest challenge, if I have to say it's most probably is having the same people having people thinking the same way, because you find it's very difficult when people are coming from different backgrounds and they are not in tune with either the mission or vision of where we're heading. So it's very difficult before they get in line for you to start doing the right things with them. So even to give them the trust that they can do the things without you being supervising over them.
Yes, absolutely. All right, please help me with the pronunciation. Jihyeon. How do you pronounce that?
Hello. Oh, my name is Jihyun.
Jian.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, Jian, I'm curious, what for you is the toughest challenge in business?
I think maintaining customer is very important than other thing because it's meaningless without maintaining customer. We can lose our customer if they are not satisfied our services or events. Yeah, so that's my important
So
challenges.
making the customer satisfied, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Excellent, excellent. Siddhisak, what for you? Biggest challenge in business?
Hello. So my biggest challenge on a business is that one, you have the business partner, but you have the different perspective and different way because of related to my real experience. I have the different generation business partner, so we have different perspective. So that's quite a little bit challenge.
So getting along with business partners, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Thank you.
Terry, what for you? Biggest challenge.
Well, my biggest challenge will be focus. Focus on the right line of business services. That's going to give me success.
All right, indeed. And if I can ask one more time, Terry and Elisa, please lower your cameras. You all look like you're in the lower half of the screen. It doesn't make the viewer feel comfortable when they see the bottom half of the screen. Anyway, Terry, to lower your camera so that you're not the bottom half.
It's fixed. It's on a
It's fixed. Okay. Can you get a taller chair? Just curious. And Elisa, can you get a taller chair or lower your camera because you're in the lower half of my screen. I cannot overemphasize how important this is in communicating with somebody on a Zoom meeting. You want to be the main part of the screen because you feel different about me if I am down here than if I am here. So please, this is for you making money. Anybody listening? This is really important. So you be the main part of the screen. Don't make it look like you're in the lower house. So Terry might be something to plan for the future. Get a taller chair, a bar stool, or something that makes it different. All right. And Chris, what did you mention a while ago? Your toughest challenge in business?
Well, I said time management is probably, I wish we had more time in the day to do everything that we set out to do.
Got it. All right. Elisa, what's your toughest challenge in business?
I guess maybe market competition.
Competition. Okay. Well, let's give you a few ideas that can change all of these things. Everybody, please write down the only thing I have total control over. The only thing I have total control over are my thoughts. Only thing I have total control over are my thoughts. I cannot control the weather, the government. I can't control you. I can't control the economy, but I can control the way I think about all of it. And most people don't put much effort into controlling their thoughts. Which way do I want my life to go? Because whatever I think about becomes my life. So please write down whatever I focus on expands. If I focus on difficulties, about making customers satisfied, about difficulties of getting along with partners, if I have a difficult time managing my time and I think about it, that as a difficulty, it will expand. And I'm not saying that changing your thoughts will change everything instantly, but it certainly gets you going in a better direction. So please write down whichever way I see anything, I'm right. Whichever way I see anything, I'm right. So what all this goes to is the following. Shankar, thank you for joining us. If you can please turn your camera on. Cliff, if your camera can be turned back on. So please write down attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. Everybody agree? It's not a part of the thing. It's not a majority. Yep. It's everything. It's everything. And it's immaterial of where you are in the world, where you are with your business at the moment. It's whatever you're focusing on makes all the difference in the world. All of you in your individual business can be very successful. Being part of Global is a major step in that direction. All Doug wants from you is your bigger success. Am I right, Doug? That's all Doug wants from you. He doesn't want anything else. That's what he wants for you. Shankar, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, can you turn your camera on, Shankar?
Yeah, give me a minute.
Okay. And Shankar, what's your biggest challenge in business?
Getting clients.
Getting clients.
Yeah. I'll just get to my desktop. 1 second.
Very good. All right, so attitude is everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some ideas on how to improve your attitude every day so that you have a better chance of getting on with life, getting on with what you want. It's amazing. People just don't pay much attention to their attitude. They just don't. And they wonder how come so-and-so happens. Well, maybe it's what I thought about it. So I think your attitude begins at the end of the previous day. We talked about time management. Chris mentioned it. Let me help you become twice as productive in half the time. Who thinks that might be exciting? What? Twice as productive in half the time? And I'll get to that in a moment. Whenever you're doing any kind of a meeting that goes for an hour, as today's meeting is, find out where your audience is. Find out what they're thinking about what's going on. They don't like what's going on at all, and you should change. So let's go back around the room and tell me, what do you already like about the way I'm conducting this meeting? What do you already like about it? Don't ask for volunteers. I volunteer with all of you. Caesar, and then we'll go to Doug. Caesar, what do you like so far about this meeting?
How you're making sure we all participate in the meeting.
Exactly. And by me asking questions, you can't get bored. You cannot do something else, but you never know when I'll call on you. And please write down, everybody. The person who controls the conversation is not the one who's talking. The person who controls the conversation is not the one who's talking. It's the one who's asking the questions. The person who controls the conversation is not the one who's talking. It's the one who's asking the questions. You expected a lecture this hour, you'll be sadly disappointed. All I've come to do is ask questions, and my meetings go very well because I ask a lot of questions and I let you talk. So please write down, I'll let the other person do a great deal of the talking. I'll let the other person in business. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Ask questions. 3 words that'll make you more money. Let's write down, tell me more. Tell me more. Rather than I hope you stop, give me more brilliance. Nobody cares about my brilliance, but they care about their own. Doug and Larry? Doug, what do you like so far about how this meeting is going?
Hold on, go to someone else, please.
All right, Larry and then Cliff. Larry, what do you like about how this is going?
Well, I appreciate the interactive attitude most of all, but so far it's been mostly a waste of time for me. So hopefully people can figure out how to put their cameras on and stuff like that without having being told to. So I'm eager to dive into some of the details, and I appreciate the asking questions thing. That's certainly the way I approach these events as well. So thanks for highlighting that.
You bet, Cliff and then John. What do you like so far about this? Cliff there?
Yes, yeah. It's. I agree. It's interactive and it's participatory.
Yeah. John and then Citisac. Something you like about this already?
Yes, I agree with that.
The what? I didn't understand.
Yes. Okay, can I hear your question one more
Yeah,
time, please?
what do you already like about this meeting? Tell me something you already like about this meeting.
About this meeting?
Yes, what do you like about it?
I can see you, everyone, face to face.
Yeah, that makes a big difference. That makes a big difference. When you're presenting to a client ideas, don't give several ideas and hope they like everything. Give individual ideas and ask what they like about it. Give individual, please write that down. I'll give individual ideas and ask what they like about it. Not how they feel about it. That's a judgment call. What they like about it. Give 1 point and say, I'd like to go around the room and ask each one of you, what do you like about this first idea? Get them to sell themselves on the idea. Citisac, what's one thing you already like about the meeting? Go to Terry.
Yeah, actually, I like John. I actually like Kim said that we can see face to face each other, and yeah, it looked like human, not a robot.
Yeah. And Doug said he likes the engagement. Terry and then Chris. Terry, what's one thing you already like about this?
You demonstrate that you're a good consultant, and the first value of a consultant is listen, speak less, observe, and listen in order to determine after that how to coach people.
Now, Chris and then Elisa.
So I think what I like about this meeting is that you made so many people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I'm also reminded that the reason why some of us don't have our cameras on is because we're not dressed like we would want to be seen. And then lastly, I wore this shirt this morning, my Star Wars shirt. You can't see it, maybe it's fuzzing out, but this is some Jedi warfare happening here. So May the force be with all of you, always.
Yeah, I didn't come to make you all feel comfortable. You're not comfortable with where you are, or you wouldn't be here. Am I right, Chris? So I'm going to make you feel uncomfortable. Those are
Way to
things
go, Chris.
those are things that take you to the next level. You betcha. Elisa, and then Shankar. Elisa, what's one thing you already like?
It's interactive.
Exactly. Shankar, what do you like since joining the meeting? Something you like?
I really like this approach because it's not just like the ordinary meetings. There is real interaction, and there is, I feel there are real people there across, and it's like being with. It's not seeing, but being with. And I love that concept and being able to relate to everyone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's go back to creating a great attitude. A great attitude every day. So it begins at 5 or 6 o'clock the day before. We all have long lists. Am I correct? Yes. But if I look at my long list of things I have to do tomorrow, I'm already tired. Who would agree? Already tired. So out of your long list, pick the 5 most valuable things. Please write down 5 most valuable things to do tomorrow. The 5 most valuable things to do tomorrow. Not the things you want to get off your list. The things that are really valuable, the things that help your business move ahead. The 5 most valuable things to do tomorrow. Please write down some things are tension relieving. Some things are tension relieving, while others are goal achieving. Some things are tension relieving, while others are goal achieving. The tension relieving items are the ones I want to get off my list. So you may ask me at the end of the day, Boaz, how was your day? Oh, it was great, great. Got a lot of things done. Yeah, but what'd you do about your most valuable things? Well, I'll get to those tomorrow. You know what happens tomorrow? I'll get to them the next day and the next day until they become a fire drill. What if we all just focused on the most valuable things to do each day? That could change all of your businesses. Okay, if you force me to, okay, I'll pull out these 5 from my long list, and these will be the 5 that are most valuable, that are helping my company move ahead. Another way to gauge what's on that list is if I could only do one thing tomorrow to move my business forward, one thing, if I could only do one thing, what would it be? And of course, you'll know. Who agrees? You'll know. You'll know. Okay, that's number 1. If I could only do 2 things tomorrow, what would it be? Well, it would be these 2. That's the way you get your list of 5. Now, number those 5 according to value. Of those 5, they can't all be exactly the same value. Okay, this would have to be number 1, number 2, 3, 4, 5. Fine. Tomorrow morning, start your day by focusing on number 1. Get distracted, come back to number 1. A phone call, come back to number 1. Now tell me this, if all I get done tomorrow are my first and second most valuable things, who agrees that's a great day? That is a great day. But if we think back to the last few weeks, to each day, what did I do that was actually valuable to move my business? I did a lot of things, but what did I do that was most valuable? If this is all you get out of this hour, this can change your business forever. So at the end of tomorrow, I've done 2 out of 5 of the most valuable. I go back to my master list and pull out 2 more. Reshuffle the numbers. They may not be the same for the next day. And the next day, focus on number 1. If you just simply do this between now and the end of May, every day, the 5 most valuable things and focus on number 1, don't let people distract you. That could change your business and take it to a whole new level. Who would agree this is a grand idea? By show of hands, who would agree? This is a really simple but profound idea that can change your business forever. And don't let somebody else's number 1 become your number 1. Somebody comes to you and say, Chris, you got to help me. You got to help me with this. You got to help me with this. Take a look. Rarely, but once in a long while, somebody on your team may have something that's bigger than your number 1. Rarely. And if it is, go do it. But in most cases, it isn't. But don't make them feel badly either. Say, Mary, John, I need to continue focusing on what I was working on this morning, but can you come back to my office at 2:30 this afternoon? I'll give full attention to what you need. 2:30 this afternoon, I'll pay full attention to what you need. Who agrees that's showing respect? But it's also not jumping from one thing to another. That is one of the biggest downfalls in business I've seen. People go from one thing to another and don't really do anything productive that's really valuable in any given day. Who would agree? Just jumping from one thing to another. That is not the way to take your business to the next level. By focusing on number one, most valuable at any given moment, that will take your business to a whole new level. So we started at 5 the day before, 5 or 6, all right? This will also allow you to be at home mentally. Because if you're home and you're thinking of all kinds of things you got to do tomorrow, you're not there mentally. Who would agree? You're just there physically. That does not help you. It increases your stress level. It can shorten your life. 5 most valuable things tomorrow. Let's go around and tell me, what do you find valuable about this one idea? Shankar and then Elisa, what do you like about this idea? The 5 most valuable things to do tomorrow. Okay, maybe Shankar had to leave for a moment. Elisa, what do you like about this idea? Please unmute, Elisa, and then we'll go to Chris. Yeah, Elisa, what do you find valuable about this idea of the 5 most valuable things to do tomorrow?
I think it's helpful.
Yeah, so we don't have a system like this. We're all over the place. Chris.
What's valuable is what's important to me may not be important to you, and that's okay. Like my number one is basically walking and exercising to start my day. So even if a business, thought came into play, I do that first and foremost because that's my health.
Absolutely. So that is valuable to you, and that's fine. And that's fine. After we do that, then we go to the valuable thing at work. Yeah, absolutely. And the key word I found was valuable as opposed to important. As I may say something is important, but it really isn't that valuable. And Terry, and then Siddharth, Terry, what do you like valuable about this one idea?
Give you it gives you a time management guide to send you in the right direction.
Yeah, it's a great time management guide. If you're doing a meeting that goes for an hour, don't let people sit for too long. Everybody just stand up and stretch. Come on, just stand up and stretch. Come on, everybody just stand. Come on, come on. I can see you. I can see you. You can't get away from me. There we go. There we go. Who agrees this is really important? If you're doing a meeting with anybody on Zoom, don't let them sit for more than 30 minutes at a time. Terry was doing a little dance there. Very nice. All right, Siddharth, what do you like about this idea of the 5 most valuable things? And then John.
Yeah, I think it's very helpful that can help us to prioritize what is most valuable activity and help me to achieve the small win. Yeah.
Yeah. And Terry was just doing a dance with some kind of a stuffed toy. I like that a lot. Okay, Gian and then Cliff, what do you like about the 5 most valuable?
Getting idea is very valuable. Getting diverse idea.
Yeah. You had Cliff and then Larry.
The valuables are prioritizing your goals for the day.
Yeah. One of the biggest downfalls in business, people don't prioritize. They think they've accomplished a lot in one day, but they're doing things that are not that valuable. Just not that valuable. Larry, what do you like about this idea? And then we'll go to Doug.
You just kind of summed it up there. I have kind of a hobby of mine is this time management stuff. So the different classes I've taken for the last 30 years or so, you just kind of learn to prioritize. So I like what you said just then. And, I have a real thing with people that are busy all the time, but they don't accomplish anything. So they're busy and they're active, but they're not productive. And so that active versus productive thing is a big deal with me. So yes, it helps prioritize. Time management and priority is probably one of the most important things we all need to figure out a way to do. Yep. And let's make sure we're being productive. And you got to assess yourself at the end of every day and then spend a few minutes planning for the next day. It's that simple.
Larry's right. What about asking a question at the end of a given day? What did I do today that really helped my business move forward? Right, Larry? What did I do today? Help my business move forward. If you can't think of anything.
Yeah, sometimes we don't like the answer, I'll admit, but you got to assess that stuff and say, all
Yeah.
right, what would I do differently? I got to make sure I do this tomorrow. What's the most important thing? Just like you're saying, I love it.
And Larry's right. If I do that same thing and I don't have a good answer for a year, I've just wasted a year. Right, Larry? Just
Yeah,
wasted
that's
a year.
not,
Didn't
I'd
count
hate to
for
think a
anything.
year. Yeah.
Oh, horrible, horrible. Doug, and then Caesar. What do you like about the 5 most valuable things? Okay, Caesar.
I think I agree with everyone. I did mention prioritize at the first question, so yeah, I think it's something very, very useful. My question to you, boss, would be,
Yeah.
how can we stick to it? How can we, if we're a customer service organization where there's a lot of requests, where there's a lot of day-to-day people asking for things, and how can we stick to that list?
Okay.
Because that's the tricky part for me as well.
Now let me ask you this. Caesar, what kind of business do you have?
I work for the Global Chamber.
Okay.
I run it with Doug and Lisa.
That's fine. So you have all kinds of things that happen every day, right?
All kind of things, yeah.
Okay. Then let me ask you this. What is one valuable thing you could do today to help the Global Chamber move ahead for the future? What is one thing? One thing, only one.
I guess helping with expansion to new regions and new members.
Okay. So what one step would be toward that? Calling somebody in a new region?
Following up with some prospect that we have, yes.
Okay. Could you follow up with one prospect in the new region today?
I can, yeah.
So what if you did that the first 15 minutes of every day? Follow up with one new prospect in a new region every day. And you might expand that to 20 minutes or 30 minutes. Would that be a valuable thing to start the day with?
Absolutely. Before I get into the emails, yes, absolutely.
The emails can be an hour from now. Who would agree most emails are not life and death? They are not life and death. Right,
Sure.
Caesar? Somebody's life is not on the line. What would it hurt if you get to those emails an hour from now and you make a few phone calls to a new region? That could change everything, am I right?
That's right. Yep.
All right. So that's how simple the first step can be. Okay, so we've decided at the end of a given day, we're going to make a list of the 5 most valuable things. Then when you fall asleep, just before you fall asleep, and when you wake up in the morning, I want to help you create a goals card, G-O-A-L-S, a goals card like this, a goals card. This is a blueprint for the brain. You see, I live in Dallas. In addition to being a speaker, I'm also a carpenter and a builder. We buy houses, fix them up and sell them, make them look brand new when we're through. One of the current houses we're working on, we're going to enlarge. We're going to add a beautiful playroom and a garage. Well, to do that, we need a blueprint. Otherwise, we could just order a bunch of wood from Home Depot, sit down and just watch the house come up from the ground. That's not going to work. We need a blueprint. Most people don't operate their mind with a blueprint. This is a blueprint for the brain. So please get a clean sheet of paper. I don't want this confused with your other notes. I'm going to write some positive affirmations to help all of you. So please write down, and we'll do this 1 month at a time. So please write down the date. We're going to look at the end of May. It's May 31, 2024. May 31, 2024. Everything I touch prospers and succeeds. By the way, for my television days, give people time cues so they'll know where you are. So the end of the program is 19 minutes and 35 seconds from now. Why did I say that? Sounded weird, didn't it? But I got your attention, didn't I? Yeah. All right, so it's May 31, 2024. Everything I touch prospers and succeeds. The next affirmation, I have a great positive attitude every day. I have a great positive attitude every day. But boys, I don't. Well, would you like to? Why don't we pretend? So it's May 31, 2024. Everything I touch prospers and succeeds.
I think today is June 1st. I mean, May 1st.
I know, but we're pretending like we're at the end of the month, Chris, because your subconscious cannot tell the difference between something real and something imagined. So we're imagining we're already at the end of May. So thank you for asking. It's May 31, 2024. Everything I touch prospers and succeeds. I have a great positive attitude every day. The next affirmation, I make amazing things happen daily. I make amazing things happen daily. What we're doing is building a case for you to be highly successful. So it's May 31, 2024. Everything I touch prospers and succeeds. I have a great positive attitude every day. I make amazing things happen daily. Then we're going to add an affirmation that is specific to you. For example, everybody please mute until I call on you, so we won't have extra noise. Larry's affirmation, I'm a great communicator. I'm a great communicator. The mind doesn't know the difference between pretending and being for real. I'm a great communicator. And for Cliff, my whole team thinks the same way. He wanted to have his team, all thinking the same way. My team thinks the same way. John, my customers are very satisfied. Just pretend as if it's already done, and your mind will help you do it. My customers are very satisfied. Citizac, I get along with my business partners. Just write it down. Let's start there. I get along with my business partners. As Citizac, if you're not doing that, you're doing the opposite. I just don't get along with them. Am I right? But that continues a direction you don't want. Am I right about that? So let's pretend I get along with my business partners. For Terry, I'm highly focused. I'm highly focused. Chris, I manage my time beautifully with the 5 most valuable things. I manage my time beautifully with the 5 most valuable things. And Elisa, let's not think of competition. Let's think that we're the best in the world. Please write down, Elisa, we're the best in the world at what we do. As if we think of the word competition, it doesn't feel really good. Who would agree? I don't want to talk about competition. I just want to be really good. If you're really good, you have no competition. And Shaker wanted to get new clients. It's easy for me to get new clients. Whatever you want to accomplish, write it as if it's already done. Then identify something fun you would do for yourself on June 1. It's going back to an island off of Belize where I spoke years ago, called Key Chapel. So get a picture of something fun you would do, maybe a weekend away, night at the theater or movie or something. A reward, some kind of reward. So get a picture of that reward, type out your affirmations on this side. And here are the 4 elements that go on this card. Back on your notes, 4 things that go on this card: a date, a goal, a reward, and an emotion. A date, a goal, a reward, and an emotion. A date, a goal, a reward, and an emotion. The date is May 31, 2024. Then when we get to June 1, we'll reset it for June 30th. A date, a goal, the things we wrote down we want to change. Everything I touch prospers and succeeds. I have a great positive attitude every day. A date, a goal, a reward. In my case, I'm going back to Key Chapel. Mention the reward. And an emotion, I am excited. Add an emotion, how you would feel when that is done. A date, a goal, a reward, and an emotion. A date, a goal, a reward, and an emotion. Create your card, type out your affirmations, only with a card like this. Picture of your next reward on this side, laminate it, and declare it the first thing every morning and the last thing every night. Just before you go to sleep, when you first wake up in the morning. Just declare your affirmations and look at your picture. Declare your affirmations and look at your picture. You'll be amazed what will happen. This is focus. This is focus. Terry was talking about focus. This is the highest form of focus for your mind. Who agrees by a show of hands? This is really a grand idea. This is really a grand idea. Thank you, Larry. Most people have no specific plan for their brain. This is a blueprint for your brain. And they wonder why they end up over there when they really wanted to end up over there. Because you didn't tell the universe where you wanted to go. You need to tell the universe where you want to go. Otherwise, it'll just send you anywhere. Final concept I want to share with you today is the fact that, please write down, Larry was right on top of this, 85% of my success, 85% of my success depends on my ability to get along with people and my attitude. Anybody disagree? 85% of my success depends on my ability to get along with people and my attitude. So if that is true, you would think there would be courses in every school in the world on how to get along with people. but there aren't any. There just aren't any. And yet most of what you do depends on your ability to get along with people and your attitude. So the goals card is a way to focus that and get it going in a good direction. Another way is by reading. What if you always had the right words with clients, with coworkers, suppliers? What if you always had the right words? Who agrees that would be worth a lot of money? You have the right words. That can come from reading. Please write down reading builds character. Reading builds character. Gives you the right words. Gives you the right words. Reading specific books over and over. I'm not talking about reading 10 different books on personal development. I'm talking about reading one or two at least 3 times. Please write down, it's better to read one book 3 times. It's better to read one book 3 times than 3 books 1 time.
Yeah.
It's better to read one book 3 times than to read 3 books 1 time. Reading a book once does nothing. That goes in one ear and out the other. But what if you picked one book, 1 or 2, that really talk to you, and read them at least 3 times? That can change your life. So I'm recommending 2 old books. If you have another book that talks to you, fine, read that one 3 times. Anybody read How to Win Friends and Influence People by Carnegie? Anybody read this? Yeah, Larry's clapping, of course.
One of my favorites.
Yeah. One of the best personal development, leadership, success books in the world. How to Win Friends and Influence People. The author is Dale Carnegie. Written in 1935, still totally applicable today. One of the 10 all-time best-selling books in the history of the world. I would think most people might want to be reading it. Here are the basic ideas from this book. You don't have to write them down. Smile. Start in a friendly way. Put yourself in the other person's shoes. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Start in a friendly way. What parts of this are not very important, and most people miss it most of the time. Amazing. Amazing. Second book, anybody read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? Larry has, of course.
Now you're picking up 2 of my favorites here. Jeez.
Exactly. Aren't these foundational, Larry? If you had a choice of all the books in the world, wouldn't you get the foundation from these 2? These 2.
Those 2 are in my top 5 without a doubt.
Yeah.
And I have them on Audible too. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Thank you.
This is not about money. Larry, would you agree this is an attitude book?
It's a book about how to live life. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I'm not saying that money is the answer to everything, but listen, you can be miserable in the better part of your town, okay? Just work with me on this. This is about the great industrialists of the last century. What did they all have in common? Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, the Wright brothers. What did they all have in common? That's all in this book. So if this is all you do, as a result of this hour, is get these 2 books. And by the way, get the cheapest versions on Amazon. Don't get the modern digitized version for the 29th century. I like the basic books, okay? And read 1 page a day in each book. 1 page in each book over the next year. And when you get through, read them over again. Read them 3 times. 3 times. So if I'm suggesting you read those 2 books at least 3 times, and I will not have read them 3 times, that is not leadership. If I thought these 2 books were so valuable, I read each of those books once a month, every month, for 5 years. I read each of those books once a month, every month for 5 years. I read each book 60 times, 60. So if we have the time, we look at your notes, we find 1 or 2 things, and we go look in the books and find those things in the books, certain page, certain paragraph where I got them. Not because I'm brilliant, although Mother would say I am, it's because I've been there 60 times. Please write down repetition is the mother of skill. Repetition is the mother of skill. So the person who are reading a bunch of these books, they're not internalizing anything, nothing. You can't quote me something out of one book, can't quote something specific out of a book. You didn't really get it. But people read bunches of these books, but they don't apply anything because just went in one ear and out the other. One idea. Read 1 page a day in each book. 1 page a day. Who agrees that wouldn't take much time? That just wouldn't take much time. 1 page a day in each book. That's all. Let me go around now and find out. What's the one most valuable thing you got from this hour? Is it the books? Those 2 books? Is it the 5 most valuable things each day? Is it the goals card? Is it the way I'm conducting this meeting? What is one valuable thing you're walking away with today that you're saying that was worth the time? That was worth the time. And so, Caesar, what's one valuable idea from today you like? That you say, I can use that. I can make that happen.
Of the one you gave us?
Of all the ideas I shared, what's one you're
Yeah.
taking away? You say, I'll act on that one because that is valuable.
Well, I think the example you gave me about starting with my goal every day before jumping into the day-to-day experience.
No, exactly. Doug, you're back on camera. What's one thing you've gotten from this hour? One idea from the time you were with us that you find that was valuable?
I think you gave some great tips on prioritizing, especially kind of focusing in on one thing. Today's technologies with WhatsApp and texting and email and LinkedIn and just all we're barraged by stuff that's important, but not to the level that they need to distract what needs to be done. So thank you for emphasizing that.
Absolutely. Larry?
I'm gonna go with what's the biggest challenge you're facing and looking at your day from that lens. In other words, all right, maybe it's the night after the day of work, like we were talking about, and we're thinking about the day and what we've done differently, what went well, what didn't went well. Take a few minutes to reflect and then think, all right, well, what's our biggest challenge here? And then set course to solve that the following day as one of our top priorities.
Very so right. At any given moment during the day, when you're unsure of what you should be doing, please ask the following question. What is the most valuable thing I should be doing right now? Right, Larry? What's the most valuable thing I should be doing right now? And who would agree? Sometimes the answer is go take a walk.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, I'm not in a good mood right now, everybody. I need to improve my attitude. I'm going to go take a walk. I'll be back in about 30 minutes with a better attitude. Who agrees that's a great leadership lesson? Yep. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Absolutely.
All right, Cliff. And then John. Cliff, what's the most valuable thing you've gotten this hour? Okay, let's go on to Gian. What's one thing you got from this hour valuable?
Just I can imagine what I want is like already done, so I can feel that emotion already, and I can know how can I success my goal. Yeah.
Exactly. Siddhisak and then Terry. Siddhisak. Everybody please mute. Everybody mute except Siddhisak, please. Siddhisak, one thing, please unmute. Yes.
Oh, sorry. One thing that can help me today, or sorry.
Yeah, one idea that can help you today from what I shared.
Okay. Yeah, I think what you share is can help me to how can I imagine how to succeed and how can I motivate by myself by using the picture and the thing that I write the behind from the back of the picture. Yeah, the one that you show. Yes, this is helpful to me. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Terry and then Chris, one most valuable idea.
I'm going to take again what we discussed before. We are overstressed with Facebook, social media, all those technologies, all those Zoom calls. Sometimes you lose the focus and the time and what you should do instead of wasting time and other things. And in fact, I do what you said. Go in the park. I have the chance to have a beautiful park next door, this. I always start between 5 to 6, between 5 to 6 in the afternoon, walk in the park, precisely so, and what I should finish tonight and what I should do the next day.
Yeah, exactly. Chris and then Elisa.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway is that the person who's controlling the meeting is not the one who is talking, but giving people the right questions to be able to enable them to envision how they can be successful, and then you can meet them along the way.
Actually, please write down, people will fight for their own ideas, right, Chris? People will fight for their own ideas. If I let you talk, you'll fight for that. But if I lecture, Boaz, no. Elisa, one most valuable thing this hour.
I think understanding the significance of date, goal, reward, and emotion, which can greatly contribute to personal and organizational success.
Exactly. Exactly. Let me help you with one more point about being a great communicator. Please write down, I will pause for 1 second before responding. Pause for 1 second before responding. Let people finish completely. Count 1001. Now respond. Let people finish completely, whatever they're saying. Count 1001. Now respond. That way you'll hear exactly what they're saying. You'll make them feel important. Because if I interrupt people, I'm saying you're not that important. And I'm not really hearing what you're saying. That's what the majority of people are doing. They're not listening to people. They're telling people they're not that important. They're wondering, why did I not get that business? Maybe because I talked too much. Maybe it's because I interrupted. Let people finish completely. Count 1001. Now respond. You'll know exactly what they said, and it will lower your stress level. Who agrees that's a grand idea? Right there. Right there. Finish completely. Count 1001. Now respond. If you're not sure what they said, please write down the 3 words that'll help you make more money. Tell me more. Any questions about what we've been doing today? Any questions, everybody? How many of you, by a show of hands, found the hour to be valuable? Appreciate Doug organizing. Who agrees? Agrees. Okay. This is not about having fun this hour. It's about shaking your life. It's about making you feel uncomfortable. Because if you're perfectly comfortable where you are, you wouldn't be on this call because you'd be doing great, right? All right. So we're all here because we want to learn something. Yeah. If I made you feel uncomfortable, good. I've accomplished what I wanted to. Indeed. Please jot down my phone number if you wish to text me, if I can help you in any way. Please write it down, 619. Still have my San Diego area code, even though I live in Dallas. 619-723-3007. 619-723-3007. And I do take on a limited amount of people as a coach for 90 days and literally change everything in your life with a Zoom meeting every 2 weeks. And if you're interested in that, it's not cheap, but it does pay back several times. It's $10,000. So if you're wanting to learn about that, then text me and I'll set up a Zoom meeting and talk about it. But in the meantime, don't walk away saying this was a fun hour. You do that, Doug and I will have failed. Right, Doug? If that's all people walk away saying that was fun, then it was a waste of time. Walk away saying, I will do that one idea. 1 second pause. The books, the 5 most valuable things each day. I'll do that one idea. And that will be what we want. Am I right about this, Doug? That's what we want.
I love that. That's fantastic. This was not the most fun. It was closer to painful than fun, and I consider that to be a win. How can we help you? What's the best? What have you got in mind for this year? And is there anything that we can do to help you in your mission, daily adventure?
Yeah, if you're familiar with any companies that have employees anywhere from 5 to 50 or 100 or more, that are struggling, then please mention me to the CEO and mention to that company that I'd be pleased to do a complimentary hour with them and their top 25 employees and show them what I do, similar to what we did here. And so if you're familiar with any companies, it is that 90-day process that I do as a consultant. And I'd appreciate you passing my email along to anybody. And the place people can learn about me, Doug, is on my YouTube channel. You simply go to YouTube and type in Boaz Power TV, BOAZPOWER TV, initials for television, Boaz Power TV. So yeah, I enjoy very much consulting with companies and working with them for 90 days every 2 weeks. And we see major changes happening. you know any companies that are struggling, please mention me to the CEO and connect us. I appreciate that very much. And Doug, I appreciate you organizing this. And so I have a final question for all of you. I ask people, how's business? And people give me all kinds of answers. It's not the same since the pandemic. It's not this, it's not that. None of that makes a good impression about you. One word will, unbelievable, unbelievable. That'll cover both ends of your spectrum, good or bad. You understand? So you're telling the truth. But when you do it with enthusiasm, everybody will think you're doing great. So everybody please unmute. Everybody please unmute. I'm going to ask you, how's business? I require very enthusiastic, unbelievable. Do that with enthusiasm and we will end this right now. If you don't do it with enthusiasm, Doug, I am prepared to go till midnight. There'll be no food. You understand? So I'm not threatening you, but yes, I am. So everybody with enthusiasm, I'm just curious. How's business?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
Okay, by the way, one more time, do not add it. Just one word, unbelievable. Okay, you have one more chance, otherwise I go on to midnight. You understand? Okay, so one more time with enthusiasm. How's business?
Unbelievable.
I knew it. I told you all about them. I knew this. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Global, unbelievable, and unstoppable. Thank you.
Thank you.